The iSchool is creative.
A fun place to engage in learning in different ways.
Unique.
Extraordinary.
The iSchool is where I would send my own kids.
An experience that students will never forget.
My new home.
It's when reality comes to life.
The iSchool is unlike any other high school you are ever going to encounter. Like ever, ever, ever.
The founders of the iSchool were given a challenge. They were asked to rethink high school for the 21st century. What that means for us, 6 years after the school's founding, is that we live by a set of core beliefs. We believe that school should be real-world relevant. We believe that students should be given choice and responsibility. And we believe that school should be developmentally appropriate.
I was student teaching at the iSchool when I was in graduate school and thought it was just a really wonderful place, that they were doing something different that I hadn't seen in other schools that I'd visited, and couldn't picture going somewhere else and couldn't imagine applying to other schools.
I think what makes the iSchool different is kind of everything about it. We use technology a lot in our classrooms, but that doesn't mean we're a technology school. We have different grade levels incorporated in our classes, and we have different types of classes that wouldn't be found in other schools.
Our students are extraordinarily creative, and I think that because we are able to offer a lot of different classes, our kids are able to show what they're good at in many different ways. In some of our classes, students make films. Students who knew they were good at filmmaking and students who didn't know they were good at filming but who have discovered that they're good at filmmaking all make films together.
It's just a very unique approach to education. They're really working very hard to try to rethink how education should be moving in the 21st century.
The iSchool isn't all about technology so much as it is using technology to further study in the sciences and the math and the humanities.
iSchool students are going to be different from some of the other students that are coming out of New York City in that they have some opportunity here to do some problem solving and troubleshooting that other students may not.
What makes iSchool different from other schools is the preparation that they give you. I feel like a lot of other schools don't have this preparation, and also the iSchool, when applying for classes, they really care about what you want to pursue and your future career, and they really care about your own personal needs and wants. So at the school, we really allow you to take your passions and what you want to apply in your studies and actually follow through with that.
At a standard New York City high school, there is a high emphasis on testing, on learning how to write and respond to the test. And here there is much more emphasis on how to think about issues. And the whole question of this application-heavy modules.
A module is a course that we take every quarter. Everyone has to take one. And it's a course where we learn about a specific thing. It's usually a problem that we have to find a solution to.
In the forensics course, we begin with a murder mystery that has been discovered, and so the students have very little background in what exactly they need to know at that point. But we sort of go day by day, and I teach them what they need to know exactly when they need to know it. So they're sort of trainees at a task, rather than having to learn for a whole 2 months before they can do anything.
Constantly reimagining, redesigning module courses based on what's happening in the world around us to kind of build these big 21st century skills. So thinking about what's relevant, what's actually happening, how can I incorporate things that people are doing and not just having them make a PowerPoint presentation or write a paper, but having them present to critics and outside people when it makes sense. I've brought experts into the classroom when I've taught a module on constitutional law where students wrote a court case decision. So I brought in actual lawyers to kind of critique their work on their final decisions.
The class was no longer boring because of that, because now we can actually say, we know what we're talking about, we know what was going on in the class, and I feel like when teachers bring an outside situation into a classroom, it helps us connect with the class or the topic a little more, so it doesn't become boring and it's not simple. It's different and more expressive.
The iSchool takes an approach that is, to my understanding, closer to what a college does, a liberal arts college, where students are able to choose their courses and really have a say in what they end up studying, and it makes for very well-rounded individuals when they leave the iSchool.
Because we're allowed to choose what classes that we want, I've actually wanted to learn more in that class, and I've actually wanted to apply myself more into that class, which is why I feel like I had a better learning experience.
I think the students at our school come with a willingness to try things that are different. They aren't as stuck to the conventional ways, and in fact, if you try a conventional approach in your classroom, if you try to just lecture for an entire period and ask them to take notes, they'll probably give you feedback about that, which we solicit here, and suggest alternative ways that would help them to learn better. They become advocates for their own education and learning.
First thing that jumps out at me is a student who's open, because we're not like any other high school. And I feel like if they come in feeling like they've got to box us into a certain thing, then it's going to be difficult for them. But I feel like they have to be open to the idea that there's a variety in the courses that they're going to take. They have to be open to the idea that when they're walking through the hallways, they're going to see different types of students. They have to be open to the idea that when they're doing their homework, a lot of it may be online, and they have to think about how to balance that.
The iSchool values independence and individualism a lot. Every student has a different pace level. Every student has a different way of learning, and the teachers and the administrators, they all value it.
Because they're given so much authority in their own learning, they have to do what's best for them and find what's going to help them be most successful in the classroom. Once they've mastered that skill here, they carry it on to college. And everyone that I've talked to who's returned is enjoying their experience in college, is finding success, and is thankful for the experience they've had here.
The iSchool is creativity, innovation.
A place where your teachers aren't only your teachers, they're also your friends.
It's the perfect institution to prepare students for the real world and what they actually have to do in life.
The iSchool is a place where great minds live.